Right, before we go on to doing his tail and all that sort of malarkey, what I want you to do is final checks. So, I want you to look at his face. I want you to do a crit for yourself of your own work. Now, has his head got a good shape? Is it heart-shaped? It's sort of a vague cross between a triangle and a heart shape, so it's quite wide here, and then it goes down towards a point at the bottom. Same with the point between his ears and then down to his nose. His ears and his eyes are slightly, just slightly, I was going to say offset, but that's the wrong word. If you look at the middle of his ears, they come down to the middle of his eyes, basically. Sorry, the beginning of his ears come down to the middle of his eyes. And that way the proportionality is right. He is more cub-like than his friend here. He's more fox-like, he's more adult fox-like. And he's further on. So you can see that I have made his back higher because he's really cooched up and he's curled up because it's cold, and his tail's all curled up and it's fluffy, and because his tail's fluffy, that kind of made me realise that I needed a bit more here, and then I built his leg up a little bit there. I also decided that he needed a front paw, and that I just did by curling some wool up. Literally, you can do this by now. You curl it up, just give it a roll, sleeping bag roll, so that it's tightening up on the foam as we go. Curl those ends in, and then I added a little bit more on the top. Sorry, I went that way, and then stabbed it all down, and then I just popped it under there and needled it on. So that's his front paw, extra front paw. I added a little bit to here, but I decided the back paw was okay. So these are the things that I need you to just think about doing just before we go on to doing the tail. So now I'm going to show you how to do the tail, all quick and easy. We're not going to do the reverse needle felting until we've maybe finished attaching his tail, and also until the back is ready to go, till everywhere is ready to go, basically. For those of you who are going to do the butterfly wings for him as well, then you won't be doing that until after we've finished doing that too. So this is making the tail. So what we need to do is get a piece of wire that is the length from his bottom to his nose. You're going to curl that wire at the back. That's going to be where it sits, in here, just under here, and then it's going to curl round there. Don't want to curl it yet. Pipe cleaner. Grab your pipe cleaner, and you're going to start at the top as always. Oop. Because allegedly when you start at the top that doesn't happen. You pop it through the loop. If it's too long, cut it off. So this is still unravelling itself, blooming thing. We've now got that done, and then what we want you to do is to get your dark brown and a piece of your natural wool, and we're just going to put a little bit off there, and we're going to just pop that in the end there like that, wrap it over, twist it round so that it's all covering the end there. And then what I want you to do is get your brown, really want that end covered, I want you to get your brown you are going to wrap that really tightly around there. Maybe if it's being a pest like this is right now, you might need to just needle it. Tell you what else is a good tip, is at this bit where it's wide, if you can shrink it down, that's good as well. Where's it gone? Because we want that to be as pointy as possible. There we go. It's a bit easier. Will just make your life a lot more simple. We'll just make sure that's really nicely needled down and really tight, because he wants a nice sharp end to his tail really. So I'm just going to wrap that round, and they've got like a lozenge shaped tail. I'm going to come straight back up because I don't want that bit to be covered, because that's got to sit under there, and of course you don't want his bottom getting bigger and bigger. Try and keep this bit flat, because the flatter it goes on, the easier it is to do. And then keep going forwards and backwards for a little while. Right, when it gets to about an inch wide-ish, I just want you to curl over like that, stab it down. Then you're going to get your fox colour, and you're going to do the same thing. Going to wrap it nice and tight round this end, look. Nice and firmly. And you're going to make this a lot neater than I am. I'm doing this really super quick for you guys. Okay. Back up. Oop. Oh. Popping out there. Right, I think that's kind of fat enough now really, and what we're going to do is we're going to needle that down really, really well now, and you're going to keep doing that and offering it up to there to see how it is. Now I want that tail to curl round like this, and that is to go down like that and under there, and then that will work rather nicely. I have to stretch it out a bit. Okay, so here's one I made earlier. This still isn't needled that well, but you're getting the idea. Now the important thing is to needle it down really well, because when it comes to reverse needle felting, you can't be pulling something out that isn't really, really well locked down, because if you do, you'll just unravel your structure. So just make sure that you get this really, really nicely done. And when it is, then you can start attaching it to his body there. And how we do that is we take little bits off like that and we add them just there. So I'm going to just heat that up, look, and then that's like that. Okay, and that's how we attach it to his body. Okay, so start like that. that out of the way would help. And I can see that little bit of wire sticking out. I'm just going to very gently with a single needle tool, look, I'm going to go around that and just make sure that I'm covering that and I'm not stabbing it, damaging my tools. Make it really short there, so we need more there to cover it over. It is a tricky little beast to do, is this, that's for sure. Ow, sorry, stabbing your fingers. And here, I'm still knocking into it. I'm being very gentle with it so that I make sure that it's felted where I want it. And it'll get easier as it goes on. We'll just keep adding and adding until that's a nice round curve there. I'll show you this one. Okay, you know where you're going with that, and then we'll be back for adding wings and all the other bits and pieces and reverse needle felting and the last nuances of your work.